One of the questions, the most popular question I get is, how do you manage to calculate how many plants do you need of each type? Well, I'm going to tell you how I calculated my tomato math. Hello and welcome to Back to Basics Homestead. My name is Annie. Today I am going to show you how I came up with the magical number of about 60 to 70 paste style tomato. A paste style tomato is the ones that you use for sauce, diced tomatoes, salsa, plum, what else? Pizza sauce, ketchup, all those types of recipes will use paste tomato. First, you're gonna have to do some homework. I took out my favorite book. I wrote down every single recipe that I was planning to preserve this year, either by water bathing or by pressure canning. If I face the fear of pressure canning this year, I will be doing chili. But once you have written down every single recipe you want to try to can, I want you to write down how many of each you would like to eat every week. For example, let's just say that you want to eat salsa twice a month. That's a 500 ml mason jar every recipe, so that's at least 26 jars. You're gonna go how much in your recipe, how many mason jars it gives you per recipe, and how much of tomato products you need. And I'm gonna help you with the next step. Here's the homework I have done. I wrote down that I want diced tomatoes, pizza sauce, the spaghetti sauce, ketchup, barbecue sauce, tomato juice, plum, roasted tomato paste, and chili. And I wrote down that I want 50 times 2 cups of diced tomatoes, 10 times 4 cups, which is a liter. I want to do a certain amount of time of salsa. I want to eat 50 times 1 cup. So that's every week I want to eat pizza sauce. So I wrote down every single of my recipe. From there, I went and I searched online 3-4 years ago, and I'm finding this information repeated itself, so those are the numbers that I was using. 1 tomato plant, so a paste style tomato, will give you about 10 to 15 pounds. It takes about 6 pounds to make 1 liter of sauce. So, an example, 30 plants of paste style tomatoes will give you about 50 quarts, 50 liters. These are in optimal, ideal, no blossom end rot, no problems, no kids chopping off, helping pruning and killing your tomato plants, like in ideal conditions. So when I take those numbers, 1 tomato plants give you from 10 to 15 pounds. I always go to the lowest, which is 10 pounds. And it also takes 2 cups to make 2 cups chopped or diced to make about 1 pound. So I took those numbers and I came back to my my homework I did. So I want 50 times 2 cups, 500 mLs of diced tomatoes. That is 50 pounds. That will be 5 plants. I want 10 times 4 cups, which is a liter. So that's an additional 20 pound and an additional 2 plants. So just to make my diced tomato requirements, I will need 7 tomato plants. For my pizza sauce, since I want to eat it every single week, I calculated I want 50 times 1 cup. So that's 20 liters. That's 12 plants just for that, which was 120 pounds. I want 50 liters of sauce, spaghetti sauce. So that's 300 pounds of tomatoes, 30 plants. So I've done this for every single of my recipes. And I came up, I think was 65 tomato plants. I think it was 72 think it was 72 that I'm planting. I want to go on the safer side. I had some blossom end rot. Like I said, my kids are young, so they try to help me prune my tomato plants. Sometimes they die. So I want to go with a safer amount, and if ever I have too much, I will can more of the, like example, pizza sauce, tomato sauce. And if I want to experiment with new recipes that's not on this, well then that's going to give me it's going to give me the opportunity to try something new. One other thing I'm going to tell you, you can do these calculations with practically anything. Green beans, you have bush type and you have the one that goes on trellis, so pole beans. There are numbers out there that can tell you need a certain amount of plants per person. But I'm going to push that number to another level with you. You need to ask yourself, how many people is in your household? How many times a week you want to eat this particular, like tomatoes or green beans or peppers? You need to figure out how much you want to eat per week. Is it a splurge? Is it a treat? Is it something you want to eat every week? And how many, like if you're 4 adults, it's not going to be the same thing as 4 adults and 2 kids. So those numbers are just based on statistics. You need to actually do the homework for your household. Last tip. If you are brand new at this, don't be too hard on yourself. Try something. If it doesn't work, readjust next year. If you have too much, if you can too much, don't stress out. Don't throw it away. Well, you can share it with someone else, or you're going to carry on those produce for the year after. Therefore, you won't have to can as much the next year, and you will be able to try something new. If you want to grow more peppers, you're going to have that garden space, and you won't have to can that much since you have leftovers of the year before. If you have a pantry like me, that's like I've done canning for the last year. Analyze your current pantry just before you sow your seeds. I've written down every single thing I have canned last year. I made this homework last year, and I will be doing a full inventory by mid-March and March to make sure that the approximate numbers that I require are accurate. I can tell you right off the start, my pizza sauce, my numbers that I calculated last year was off. So I need more. My diced tomato, I'm almost running out. So the numbers, same thing, I need to up. So those things I already know. So I'm going to go do my full pantry tour, and then I'm going to write everything down, and I'm going to make sure that I adjust the numbers that I have here. And year after year, those numbers will change. You can have babies, and then a couple of years down the road, you're going to have teens, and teens eat a lot. And then you're going to live with teens, and then they're going to move out. So those numbers need to be adjusted every single year. In my last tip, I know this is mathematics, it's science, but try to have fun, because growing a garden is not to break your skull. It's actually to heal you, to entertain you, to make you feel better, and all positive emotions. So I really hope that you have a lot of fun growing some tomatoes this year. And I hope all of this helps. And I thank you for passing by the homestead today and calculating my tomato plants. Take care. Bye. If you're curious, this is what my pantry looks like. I'll be touring it soon, and I will be sharing a mistake that I have made. Stay tuned.